I've come here to meet an ex-gangster who made his name in the 80s and 90s. His reputation for violence was so bad that he was known simply as the Devil. In the world of crime, taxation is the violent extraction of money and/or drugs from a drug dealer. A martial arts champion and club doorman who grew up in TOXTETH, Stephen French became a master taxman. Today, he's a successful businessman and anti-gun campaigner. He began by telling me about how drugs became an issue in the city in the 1980s.
An armed robbery would take place. Maybe £20,000 was stolen between 3 individuals. Those 3 individuals would make a kitty, yeah, of the £20,000, yeah, and they'd go to Holland, and for £20,000 in those times, allegedly, so I've been told, you could buy 2 kilos of cocaine. You buy those 2 kilos of cocaine and you get them into this country, yeah, they become worth £100,000.
You tell me about, or give me some examples of what a taxman would do to a drug dealer to get the money.
A case of a friend of mine, yeah? He actually did 15 years for this, no, he got 11 years for this offence. Yeah, and he burned the guy with an iron, right? Get the guy to give up his stash.
This taxi thing, how big did it become?
Money was made, Russ, and money was lost. It was a frivolous time, yeah? And money was made and money was lost, and that's all I'm prepared to say about that.
Were you happy with yourself at the time?
It's very easy to fake loving somebody. It's not so easy. People can't fake fear, yeah? Now, I can remember, to my detriment and to my shame, just wanting to be feared, wanting to have that reputation, wanting people to say, there goes Frenchy, he's a bad man. Yeah.
Were people actually dealers getting firearms because they were worried about people like you taxing them? Was their way of defending themselves against someone with your physical presence?
Excellent analysis. Yeah, this is where I have to take some culpability in terms of the explosions of firearms in my own Merseyside, yeah? I don't take full responsibility, but the 10-stone weedy heroin dealer that's got 40 grand under his bed and thinks the devil's coming to get him, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? Because it becomes an instant equalizer.
But having been involved in the emergence of guns in the city, French quickly became a victim of them when first his best friend was killed and then his son was shot. Last year, he cooperated on a book about his life to expound his anti-gun message.
You have young men at home now, 10 years of age, that will be hitting the streets 5 years' time, 10 years' time. They have uncles that are doing life, brothers that have been murdered, fathers that are murderers. Desensitized. They're on the verge of being dehumanized. Yeah? And if we don't, as the elders of the village, find something to harness that energy, to give them focus, direction, and purpose, mayhem's going to ensue.
But by stepping out of the shadows of the underworld, French has put himself in the spotlight.
In my own community, yeah, they took to daubing things around on the wall about me, yeah. Stephen French is a police informer. Stephen French is a grass. Stephen French is a homosexual. I've had 7 attempts on my life so far. I've had prices on my head ranging from £5,000 to £30,000, yeah? The last attempt on my life was less than 6 weeks ago, where 5 shots were fired at me.
Why are there people out there now trying to kill you?
My belief is, it's people from my past, right, that believe my anti-gun message is beginning to gather momentum. So they will give young individuals, young punks, yeah, they're like Jack Russells snapping at the heels of a Rottweiler. Yeah, and the interesting thing, Russ, right, and I hope that you can hear this, right, is that the temptation to revert to type, yeah, and sort out those individuals that have had the effrontery to try to take my life is the hardest thing I have to resist, because I could swat them like flies, mate. I could swat them like flies. But how can I claim to be an anti-gun campaigner and carry a gun myself?